Using the dark goddess archetypes for personal and social healing. What are the dark goddesses? Before the advent of patriarchy and male supremacist cultural hegemony, the divine feminine was represented by a host of multifaceted, complex, and powerful goddesses as part of a pantheon. The ideas of good versus evil and heaven versus hell, etc., were not strictly developed, so the gods and goddesses of the pantheons mirror the complexity and ambiguity of the human psyche. Why work with the dark goddesses? Working with the dark goddess archetypes could be the key to profound transformation on both a personal and societal level, including for both men and women and every other expression of gender. The demonization of the feminine. Since the advent of patriarchy, a polarity or schism erupted between the masculine and feminine, good and evil, heaven and hell, sacred and profane. Indeed, in Genesis, God is said to have split the heavens and the earth into two binary, opposing forces, and this is the birth of the opposing and opposite forces that we now define as duality, which is typified by the gender binary. In this split, all the positive, powerful, and righteous qualities were allotted to the masculine, divine, heaven, positive, active, strong side of the equation, and their opposites were allocated to the feminine, profane, earth-negative, passive, weak side of the binary. The creation of the modern ideas of femininity. The definition of femininity effectively reduced woman to only the qualities that serve the male supremacist hierarchy. The multifaceted, complex, and challenging aspects of the feminine, traditionally represented by what we now call the dark goddesses, were demonized and their attributes became taboo for women, thus reducing us to two-dimensional objects for the purpose of plunder, pleasure, and progeny for men. Women were stripped of our humanity. How demonizing femininity hurts men too. Men also suffered from the mutilation and dismemberment of the feminine, because all humans contain both masculine and feminine aspects. So while women face the mutilation externally, men face the same fate internally. The result is the loneliness epidemic and uncontrollable rage, lust, and paranoia that characterizes male supremacist spaces and psyches. The masculine in men is at war internally with his own inner feminine, and this plays out clearly in the violence against feminine people of all kinds, and even in the violence enacted against traditionally masculine men for the most minor displays of feminine attributes. It's time to reclaim the fullness of femininity for all people. Thus, the process of destigmatization, acceptance, and integration of the dark feminine can lead to profound personal healing as it allows for the acceptance and integration of all aspects of the self, for all genders. Women are in great need of stepping into our full humanity once again and accepting our sovereignty. Part of our healing is accepting our responsibility as autonomous humans, rather than passive, weak victims, which has been denied to us for hundreds, if not thousands of years, depending on where one's ancestors are from. The benefits to women should be obvious, but what's not so obvious is the downstream effect that the destigmatization, acceptance, and integration of the dark feminine would have on men. Young boys will be allowed to be strong without castrating themselves from their emotions and sensitivity. Boys will be better able to connect with each other, with women, and with themselves, so the great epidemic of loneliness, anger, and despair of men can be healed. Let's heal ourselves and our society together. On a social level, remembering the history of the dark goddesses and embracing their archetypes as mirrors and tools for psychological development can engender a collective shift and foster greater balance and harmony in society. By promoting the acceptance of diverse expressions of femininity in all people, we can repair the inner wounds that wreak havoc on our lives, our relationships, on society, and on the earth. So, are you ready to start your journey working with the dark goddess archetypes? Written by Jessica Artemisia,